Hello everyone. I am making Madeline cookies. I posted these on Instagram and get a bunch of questions on how to make them, so here goes. So you do need to get a pan, a Madeline pan. They come in different depths, they come in different sizes. I just ordered a mini one. I think they're going to be adorable. They're relatively cheap. I think I got a 2-pack for about 12 bucks. And they hold... I'm trying to get you in frame here. You can make 12 cookies with each pan. The recipe that I have makes about 24 cookies. So first you want to preheat your oven to 375 for at least 30 minutes. You want to really let that get good and hot, and you want to grease your pan. I have a misto. I use olive oil. It works perfect. You can use butter, whatever you use to, generally to grease your pans. That's what you want to use. So first 2 steps done. Next, you are going to need, and I'm going to give you the ingredients list, but I'm going to put it down below. You will need 3 eggs. You're going to need a teaspoon of vanilla and a half a teaspoon of almond extract. You're going to need 2/3 of a cup of sugar. You're going to need a half a cup of melted butter. You're going to need the zest of 1 lemon, or about a teaspoon, and a teaspoon of lemon juice, a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1 cup of flour, and then this is a base recipe. You can add anything you want in these. So I will bring you to the step where you would do those add-ins. Today, I'm just going to make basic. So to start, you want to put in your mixer, your 3 eggs. I let them come to room temperature. You are going to put in your 2/3 cup sugar. And I'm trying not to completely block the camera here, but that's not going to work. Okay, you are going to also add in your vanilla and your almond extract. Now this is the only time consuming part. You are going to mix this for about 5 minutes. So now before I do the next step, I'm going to get my dry ingredients incorporated. So you're going to mix your flour, your cornstarch. You can sift these ingredients. And your baking powder. And you're going to get those ready for you in a minute. You want to mix those together. A little whisk. Okay, so we're just going to mix these together real quick. And the next step requires your lemon zest and your lemon juice. Lying. Ha! The next step requires your melted butter. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to mix that. Everything takes about a minute from here. So the 5 minutes is the longest part. So you're going to gently mix this in. Just pour in your melted butter. I'm going to make sure that gets well incorporated for about a minute. Again, on a higher speed to keep that light and airy. Okay, and then from here you're going to add in, I mixed mine lemon juice right into the lemon zest. You're going to pour that in. And you're going to go an additional minute. Okay, now I'm going to stop this to show you what it's looking like. Again, looks nice and fluffy and airy. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it well, but it's very just fluffy and airy and on the thicker side now that we've added more ingredients. I am doing this in a KitchenAid Professional 6, so the bowl is a little bit bigger. So it may take you a little longer to incorporate, which is totally fine. Now we're going to gradually mix in our dry ingredients. So about a half a cup at a time. And you want to slowly mix that in so they don't make a big mess. I know from experience. Once that's incorporated, you're going to go ahead and just add some more. You don't want to overmix. So just once it gets incorporated, add the next round. And that is it. So I am going to get a spatula and I'm going to scrape those sides. Scrape them down and then one quick pass with the mixer and it should be pretty well incorporated at that point. And that is it. Now you're ready to make cookies. Now this is the stage. If you were to be adding anything in, this is the stage where you would add it. Things like mini chocolate chips, or I'll actually be making another batch after this one with the Heath Bar pieces. Dried cranberries, a different, you know, kind of whatever you want to add in here. The world is yours. Dried cranberries, dried fruits, nuts, any type of chip, like a chocolate chip, butterscotch, anything like that this is where you'd go with that. Also, if you're going to color them, I would probably add it in at this stage. Whatever your choice of food coloring is. Now with mine, I do add like a chocolate or almond bark. Let me get you in here. So it just makes a beautiful silky batter. And again, we already greased our Madeline pan. So I use an almond bark, melted almond bark, and I kind of dip it halfway on a diagonal and they come out so beautiful. This mini cookie scoop seems to work for me to make consistent, and they seem to fill well, so these do have like a very pale lemon flavor with just, oh, they're so good. So I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of these up and pop them in the oven. We're going to bake these for just 8 to 10 minutes. You want to wait until the edges are golden. Okay, everyone, here we go. I am going to rush this a little bit for the sake of this, but these are directly out of the oven. I want you to see the edge. My oven took about 10 minutes. You do want to be gentle. They will pop right out. But if you look here, you can see, focus. Oh man, here we go. All right, so you should be able to see, why are we not focused? There we go. The edges are just barely golden brown. So you want to make sure it has that nice edge. They will puff up a little bit. That's normal. That's what they are. But that pan makes the most beautiful detail. So now we're going to transfer these right onto a baking sheet, a cooling rack. Either way, it won't change the design that is baked in. Alright, so we have our cookies baked. We have our almond bark melted. Alternatively, you could use, chocolate chips or dark chocolate, or any type of melting chocolate you would normally use for this step. I choose almond bark because it won't seize up on me, right? So I may have to go back in. We have 24 cookies. If I was making a big batch, we may have to go back in and remelt that a few different times. And if you do that with a chocolate chip, combination or a dark chocolate, it may seize up on you, which I'm not that familiar with chocolate, so I don't know how to fix those things. So almond bark just makes it easier for me. Now let me get you in here a little bit closer. You are going to take your cookie, scallop side up, and you're going to dip it just on the diagonal, kind of rock it back and forth till you like how it looks, and you're going to get rid of the excess. On my cooling rack, here we are. So on my cooling rack, I just put, it's actually one of my dehydrator sheets. You can use parchment paper, wax paper, whatever you want. I'm just going to do a few of these now to show you how to do them, and I'll do the rest later. So again, just that little touch. It doesn't change the flavor dramatically, but it just makes them look so pretty, and it's that extra attention to detail that kind of makes it look a little more fancy. And if I'm going to do this, I'd rather have fancy. So, just what I do. I did make, a couple of weeks ago, an eggnog Madeline cookie recipe, and it was beautiful. So maybe that will be a video to do on here. The base of those were just a little bit different. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. I'll go ahead and do one more before I do the white drizzle on them. You do want to let this set for quite a while. You want to let it completely cool. I like to cool mine at room temperature. So here with the white, bowl is hot. So we have our white right here and a fork, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to drizzle across the top of those. Perfect is not necessary here. I may not have melted these enough despite how hot they are. But you do want to cover whatever is under your cookies. Hold on, let me get a spoon and see if I can make that work. Fork usually works fine. Let's try this. The little like sprinkles. So the little Christmas sprinkles. So I think I'm going to add some of those on top of these while they're still setting. I think the kids will like the little Christmas stuff. I do hope that you can see this. Let me get you in a little closer. There we are. My lighting is not my favorite. If I turn a bigger light on, we are going to be looking yellow. We don't want that. So, there we go. That is our Madeline cookie. Basic recipe. Beautiful little treat. We're going to let those set up. I'm going to finish doing the rest, and then I'm going to let the kids try them. So if you make these, I'd love to know. If you have a recipe of your own, I'd love to know. And thanks for watching, guys.